Premiere Elements ships with a huge load of really cool graphics that you can use in your videos. And that's what we're going to look at in this lesson. Now, for this, I really recommend that you're in the expert view. And this is for two reasons. Number one, if we're in quick mode here and we're looking at our graphics, we have, I don't know, what is that, 12, 15 that we can play with here, different graphics and stuff. And what I want to do is accentuate when this girl hits this kid in the back with the water balloon. Poor kid, you can see him just bracing for it. He knows it's not going to be fun. So when it happens, boom, I want a cool graphic here to kind of accentuate that. So I go to graphics and I have this maybe comic book whack and I drag and drop that, but I can't put it over the footage. It won't let me put it on top in this little text area here. If I'm going to apply this to my footage, I have to put this as a separate clip. And that is not at all what I want. So I'm going to hit the delete key to delete that. And then I'm going to go into expert mode. And now if I go into graphics, well, first of all, you'll see that there's way more graphics to choose from. And you can see here that the category is just animated objects. So not only are there more objects, these are just animated objects. If I click this here, you see we have all these different categories from baby things to costumes. So if you have somebody, let's say for example, I put the cursor over here and we want to put somebody in some kind of outfit, maybe a long pink wig, we could drag this to the second video track and there we could position this. And if we wanted to, we could go over to the applied effects, open up motion and drag down the scale value. Maybe we could use the slider here for a bit quicker. And then if we want to position this right, we could click and then move that in the right spot and scale down. And of course, this is video, so this won't exactly work. But if you had somebody who was standing in the same spot and you wanted to give them some life or something, that could be rather amusing, actually. Just delete it for now because, again, that's not what we're looking for. So I'm going to get my cursor back to where I want it to be. And I'm going to look at my current time display here. And I want this to be at 11 seconds and 7 frames where this starts, because that's really where the impact is on his back. So I'm going to go back to graphics. And instead of just looking at costumes, I'm going to look at miscellaneous. Now you could do show all. If you're just looking for some inspiration, you want to see the graphics from all these categories at once, you could choose show all. I'm going to choose miscellaneous because that's where my cool comic book things are. And so I'm just going to drag comic book whack again to the video 2 track. So I have a nice overlay here and that's exactly what I want. And again, you can't get this in the quick mode. So I'm going to select this and now I'm going to play with it. Now, once we click on something to select it, we get this bounding box around it and a control point in the center, and this allows us to move it where we want. I'm going to go back to applied effects now, open up motion, and let's scale this down a little bit. It's a little distracting. And then I want to also rotate this. I can go to rotation there, and I could adjust position again with these values here, but these are a little bit more for fine tuning. So if I just click here, I get the bounding box and the control point again. I could put that right here and close that up. And again, every time that we have any kind of clip, even if it's a graphic, we still have all of these same adjust parameters. So we saw the same motion and opacity controls that we saw for video effects, but also we have the same color parameters as well. So I'm going to open up color and making sure that it's in the hue category, I'm going to click on more so I can fine tune the hue. So I might move this, again, very slowly, a little dab will do you here. I'm going to move this so that the orange of whack kind of looks more like the orange in the Frisbee. Just as a little bit more color cohesiveness. Now I'm going to move a little bit further in time, maybe to about 11:20 or so. And I could trim the endpoint of this whack graphic. So now when this plays back, the whack is on the screen when it gets whacked, and then it disappears. Now what we could do is make another whack there. If we wanted to, we could select this clip. It actually already is selected. You can tell it's brighter than this blue because this blue is deselected. And I could press Command C, Command V on the Mac, or Control C and Control V on the PC to copy that clip and then paste another instance of that clip. So now we have whack, whack. So that's kind of fun. And then we could also change this instance. We could move it over, and we could also go back to applied effects and rotate this maybe in the other direction and maybe move it over closer. And we can also change its color. We can do anything we want to this. So now if we play this back, the incident in question back, we have these cool little accents because of the Premiere Elements graphics. Pretty fun. Now, of course, there are, again, a whole host of other graphics, and they do all kinds of things like accentuate stuff like these, but they also can be great little decorations in the corner. If you're doing something for a baby, there's just little baby graphics you could put in the corner. There's a lot of animated ones that can add a lot of fun to your projects. So there's a whole host of really cool things that you could do with the graphics that ship with Premiere Elements.